Alright, into Turtle Pack today, and this is going to be a special extended episode because we are finishing off all of the achievements in Turtle Pack. And I had more remaining than I actually thought I did. So we're going to have a couple of runs and then we'll have a montage at the end of all the other ones that weren't necessarily interesting enough to show on their own. So this one is actually quite an interesting start because I get the triple pig beginning into turn 1 worm. And so I thought it would be really nice to actually have an achievement that I unlocked while getting a turn 1 tier 2. Now I think at this stage I might have already unlocked the worm achievement. So as well as keeping the worm, we have to find one of the other pets on the list. So here's the list: cricket, horse, pigeon, crab, worm, rabbit, bison, armadillo, scorpion, fly, zombie, cricket, and bus. So we did a zombie fly not that long ago. I'll link to that video in the description if you want to have a look at it. But all of the others pictured there will be shown in this video except for crab. Originally I was going to post the crab one as well, but I put the full crab run in the members only section, and I don't want to actually spoil the ending of it for any members that haven't watched it yet. So trust me, I did get the crab one, but you'll actually get to see all the others in this video a bit later on. So I get the badger, and obviously worm by itself is not going to do enough for us, so we need one of the powerful early game carry units. And badger I think is pretty good. Definitely one of my favorite units. Of course I have the achievement for badger a long time ago. And we're just going to keep feeding the badger with all the reduced cost apples. And then I get double snail here, so I think I'm going to go for that. And we'll just reposition so that the snail takes the hit from the badger, assuming it doesn't get sniped. Because with 3 health it is liable to get hit by a dolphin. But luckily we play against this slightly unusual double flamingo, double mosquito team and get the win. So Swan, I did feel like trying to go for the achievements was kind of like going back in time and playing some very old school SAP where you're taking Swan as often as possible. Because when you're going for the achievements, it's much the same as going for other challenges, except, you have a lot more freedom. But still, it's the same kind of idea where you need to spend extra gold just to find duplicates or chocolate. Whereas in many other situations, if you're just playing to win, a lot of the time you're stopping at level 2, and then you just pay for stats. You don't really need to be hard rolling for chocolate or that last extra pet that you want to find. And of course with some of the tokens it's actually even harder because you have to factor in pilling the units that you need to pill in order to get one of the achievements. Actually I'm seeing this team has B, and it's got me wondering. I'm pretty sure I did the level 3 B already, but now I'm going to have to go and double check and make sure that I actually have finished all of these achievements. At the very end, I'll show a screen of the page, the pack, showing all the achievements turned on. Although you can't actually check the tokens that way. We'll have to use the menu for that. This team has some pretty big units, but thankfully the garlic on the worm, we had just enough health there to kill off the giraffe. So turn 9, we're going to go for multiple level ups and try and find one of the pets. Okay, you can see it on screen there. Some of them had already been unlocked because this was recorded midway through the process, but fly has not been done. So we're going to get rid of the dolphins, bring in the cat and the fly, and then we have 5 trophies to go in order to find enough flies and chocolates to actually get the win here. So thankfully the dolphin doesn't kill the fly there, but I think, yeah, the flies, the zombie flies make such a big difference. It's strange, you think, they only have 4 health, 4 attack. How much of a help can they really be? But it really does make a big difference. Now here's where I really should stop buying the apples, although it is tempting when you've got the cat. It's just a waste of gold if you're trying to get the achievements. And I think here I was also going to go for the level 3 worm as well, since I was on the turn 1 tier 2, just for an added bit of interest. Elephant blowfish, although with fly it does work quite well with badger because you are resummoning a zombie fly in the gap, but of course elephant blowfish is not going to care about that. It's going to delete the small units, and we take a loss. Now that the worm is level 2, I am willing to buy the apple again, but we're not going to go for level 3 badger. We just need to find the flies. Now there I was about to sell the swan, but I think because of that achievement hunting mindset, keeping the swan is more valuable than trying to bring in the cow for some stats. And again here, I think, yeah, it's going to be another tie. So that's okay though, that means we're extending the game. It just means that our team is probably, once we get the level 3 fly, then we can start going nuts with buying food for the cat. Because realistically, the longer the game goes, especially when you're just hanging on to, tier 2 units, the more likely you are to come a cropper against the bigger teams. And here's another example. Big scaling team, and actually we were barely going to lose. But that was probably only because I think that team only had the level 2 monkey and level 1.5 penguin. The later you go, more of these teams are going to have, the level 3s on everything. So mushroom the fly, and we bring in the tiger for the badger. I don't normally do that, but we're going to try and extract more value from the badger without actually having to level it up. And we are actually going to win here, I think, because the double badger hit is going to clear the melon, and then we get the triple zombie fly spawning at once. But we really want those zombie flies to be level 3. Yeah, you can see I'm double checking. At this stage I was quite late in the process. I only had a few left to go. Although I think I did still have some of the tokens as well. And yeah, I give up on the worm. So yeah, that was maybe a bit optimistic earlier in the process, where I was thinking that I was going to get level 3 worm from the turn 1 tier 2 as well. We do take the tiger partial level. But I think here the zombie flies are going to do good stuff in that they block the snipes. And the zombie fly comes back and it still has 1 trigger left. That is actually an adjustment they've made, that when a pet comes back from mushroom, it still has the same number of triggers as it did when it fainted. So you don't get 3 new triggers if your zombie fly was sniped. If your fly was sniped, rather. So we get the level 3 fly. That means we can now do whatever we want in terms of buying food for the cat. The badger is doing so much damage to opposing teams. We just need to make sure that the worm and the fly can hang on afterwards. So I think I'm going to feed up the worm here. It has been there since the beginning. And then I think I end up taking melon here on the cat. Now obviously the cat is very weak, but we do want to avoid the badger splash damage hitting the worm. And we face this team, which looks like they're achievement hunting as well. Level 3 beaver with level 3 crab. But I think the worm actually has enough health to get rid of the crab. However, the fly only has 10 attack, and we end up losing to 1 HP on the monkey. I was so devastated after that, but it was such a good run, I felt like I had to include that at the start here. So 1 run down and we don't have any extra achievements. But this one is going to be cricket, and you can see what I'm going for here. We're going for the Rabbit 2 squad, where the only unit that you're going to keep for the whole game, you're just making sure that every salad hit buffs it. And yeah, the cricket can often, or whichever unit you have, can often just sweep opposing teams with garlic. So not the most exciting strategy, but oftentimes it was just the only way I could get these early game units to a state that they could compete in the late game. Of course you can, you can level up on turn 5 hoping to get multiple penguins and things like that, but I think the rabbit, stacking the rabbits is just so much more effective. And there we got lucky with the second rabbit that none of the buffs actually hit it at all. I think here we're going to be fine. Yeah, we managed to get rid of their one big unit, and the rabbits have plenty of health. Now stacking the rabbit is very good for a short period of time, but then it starts to fall off quite drastically as your health approaches the max. Here for some reason I tried to spend 12 gold in one turn. Maybe I was so used to having a level 2 or higher swan. Now it did look like the scorpion was going to kill the peacock there, but of course the dolphin sniped it. But that's not going to be a problem from the next turn onwards. As soon as we get some stats onto it, the rabbits at the back will draw the snipes away from the scorpion. Okay, maybe I'm not going to take a second rabbit here. Maybe I'm going to take a second scorpion. So yeah, that's what we're going to do, and then we're just going to feed the scorpions to try and get their stats out of snipe range. And Scorpion is one of those units that it seems to be very rarely played by anyone in Arena. Obviously it has pretty useful applications in Versus, but of course, you know, you can often be discouraged by rounds like that where your Scorpions get deleted or you face pets with Melon. But once we get the stats going here with the rabbits, it's really not going to be a problem at all. The most important thing is getting the Scorpions to 21 attack, because that means they'll be able to instant kill through Melon. And we're taking every salad here because we don't need any chocolate for the Scorpions. That's another benefit, that you just don't need to level them up. Except when you're going for the Scorpion achievement, which we'll get to later on. I think in this one I was just concentrating on getting the cricket. A few of the tier 1s were proving pretty frustrating. Pigeon as well, although we do get that one in the end. Okay, I'm not going to freeze the pear. I guess I'm more interested in some of the late game splash food like pizza. It's so nice to see the Scorpion just instant kill a hippo. And at this stage I'd played so much that I didn't really feel bad in the slightest destroying some of these scaling teams that didn't have Melon. And we will take Mushroom on the front Scorpion here just in case. So here's a classic example. The rat had Melon, so the Scorpion wasn't able to kill it. This is only level 1 Elephant Blowfish, but I think we don't quite have enough. The Blowfish just does so much damage even with only 1 hit per rep. So yeah, we end up losing there and we go down to lethal. But now we get access to sushi. And you can see, I think here I'm contemplating chocolate for the Scorpions, but I really just need to look for the stat food. Funnily enough, we end up taking a chocolate anyway. I guess it is +1/1, and then we get the 3 health from the rabbit as well. So it's definitely better than rolling like honey or meat bone or something. So the 1-up Scorp takes care of the gorilla there. And the health is now so high that we're able to knock out multiple units. So it's basically just looking for sushi. Yeah, I declined the chocolate there. I didn't notice in this run if I already had Scorpion achievement or not. I don't think I did. There were many games like this where I ended up with multiple Scorpions. I guess probably because there were multiple games where I ended up with early high level rabbit. But most of them ended up not working out too well. Here the gorilla blocks the peanut, but thankfully the Scorpion, the third Scorpion, had enough health there to take care of the dodo. And maybe I could have just taken Cupcake there, but we'll buy this pear. Getting to 21 attack is not really realistic here without a cat, so we just need to take any food we can and hope that the health is good enough. Another one here where the melon blocks the initial hit, but the health is so high that we cut through. So that will be 9 trophies, and we just need 1 more. Now I did actually try many times to get the cricket achievement with a summon team. You know, I wanted to have 1-up cricket with horse and turkey and so on, but I just could not get it going. And so we ended up going a different road. And whale with deer not in first position. They do have 1-up mammoth, but I think the Scorpion is going to take care of the bus. The cricket is actually going to get knocked out, but the kangaroo with only garlic means that the meat bone, I think, actually there got the kill on the skunk, and we get the level 3 cricket. So before we go on to the montage, we'll just quickly show this one. Now, there was one pet that I wasn't willing to spend lots of time on in Turtle Pack trying to get the achievement, and that is the armadillo. So weirdly here, yeah, I actually forgot to sell the tamarin onto the 2 other armadillos in my squad. So I finally realized my mistake, and we're going to replace it there. Maybe I should have actually just kept the tamarin and went for the tamarin achievement at the same time. But we are on 1 heart here, so I think I would rather have another ability in the squad. And we're going to buff up one of these armadillos at the back. We have a level 2 walrus, so one of them isn't going to get peanut. Ideally, we want it to be the 2 that have the highest attack. And we get matched with a scaling squad. I'm not sure why this team has Pegasus. I guess they were buy-selling with the buffalo. But the buffalo being maxed out, the Pegasus is kind of useless. And we end up with this, with armadillo, you often end up in these weird situations where you're attacking way more times than you normally expect to. So there was the armadillo achievement, but I did end up doing it in customs. Now we move on to the remainder of the other Turtle Pack achievements. So this looks kind of bad against the level 3 leopard, but the way the snipes worked out, we got the win there. So that was the bus. Again, I tried to do more creative stuff with bus, but it was just proving impossible. And then here's one of the few runs where I actually got 2 at the same time. I was often trying to get multiple achievements in one go just to speed up the process. But here we end up getting horse and fly at the same time. Yeah, weird that one worked out. I had so many runs with horse and cricket together, and I just couldn't get anything. And bison obviously was on the list as well, although it's only level 2 there. And then here's pigeon. This was one of the last ones that I got, and I ended up having to resort to tiger plus leopard. And yeah, even then it's still relatively close. So that was pigeon. Not surprising I didn't have that one, given it was the last new pet added. Then here is the actual scorpion achievement. The rhino. The scorpion has so much health from the rabbit here that it one-shots the rhino, and it's really no contest. Rare use of the seal there. Seal actually definitely quite good for getting the scorpion up high enough attack. And then here's a level 3 snail, although we obviously had the level 3 snail achievement already. I didn't have the rabbit, and so I decided to go with double gorilla in this one, since we already had a scorpion recording. And despite this being a pretty nasty looking summon team, we do end up getting the win there. I think the coconut definitely helped. Next up is level 3 worm, and you can see this one I was trying to go for bus and worm at the same time, but we got to 9 and the bus was still only on level 2. Of course you can just save up a level 3 deer and then pill it, but I much prefer to get the bus quicker and then scale it. And then here's a bison, so I tried to mix things up here. We had the gorilla already had coconut, just for a bit of added interest, and then we had a ton of snipers with the double crocodile. So that was level 3 bison done. And then the last one here is zombie cricket, and this was the final run, the final achievement that I needed to get. Again, I was trying to do odd stuff with it and finding it incredibly tough. And in the end, we end up winning with this level 1 leopard team. Again, it was rabbit though. Rabbit just very, very strong. You'd think it would be anti-synergistic for getting the achievements, but not for the early game pets. But as it turned out, zombie cricket wasn't actually the final achievement. I still needed B. I just hadn't added it to the list. It is kind of difficult to see which of the hidden achievements you still don't have, so I'm not sure why I skipped over this one. But it is obviously the hardest of the lot. You just have to pill a bunch of honey units early game to try and get the bee started with levels. I think I only pilled a couple in this one. And again, it's going to be carried by a rabbit. We're just looking for chocolates at the very end. So here I move on to 9 trophies, and I need to find 2 chocolates on the final turn. And I think we're going to get one on the first roll here, or the second roll. There it is. And then we've got 2 rolls left to find the last one, and we get it on the next roll. So very lucky there. And you can see it's also the badge unlocking. And then I freeze double tiger because I think turn 15, making the parrot shoot again is probably better than the skunk. Maybe actually better than just the rabbit. But we actually faced this double camel team, and we hit both the camels, so we regen the stats on the hippo. But the rabbit has scaled the parrot up to such a point that, yeah, we're still going to win in the end. That was actually as a result of rolling triple cow on 1 turn. So very happy to get that done with only a few attempts. And here you can see the pack with all the achievements unlocked.